everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1514 of our daily content grind. So, yes, we still haven't gotten around to the monthly Q&A. You will get that tomorrow. I apologize for anyone who is waiting. Please don't leave any questions in it right now, though. I'm going to post it tomorrow, so all your questions will go to next month's. I don't want to overload it any more than it already is. So, we're here to talk about the news for the week because it is a Monday, so News Roundup has to take priority here. However, I will admit, it's a pretty thin news week. We're going to be talking about the new stuff that came up, but we might also be kind of rehashing a few things, but we'll go through them quickly. But the lead story, at least what I thought was the most interesting that we had this week, this is the new Transformers Spotlight 3-pack that Hasbro Pulse just put up for pre-order. For $85, you were getting 3 copies of the Devastation Optimus Prime, and the whole gimmick to this is that it is in 3 different stages of development. So you get the toy in the gray proto stage, which is more like the hard copy. When it's literally mostly just like one step above gray. It's just like resin, or one step above clay, where it's resin made. You get the unpainted test shot, like how it looks as a prototype. And then you have this super decoed Optimus Prime. Now, I love the idea behind this set. And I do like that they're giving the sculptors and painters some actual attention and showing how the process completely works here. That's actually a really good thing. Not that they're crediting the people who designed the toy, even though they're showing the production stage of it, but hey, we can't ask for everything from Hasbro, apparently. But I like the idea. I like the idea of having a solid gray proto, having something akin to a hard copy. That's a fun idea. I like the idea that there's one centerpiece version of the toy that got all of the paint budget that the other 2 toys would have gotten, since they are just bare plastic runs. Yeah, that's actually a really smart move. That actually makes it a lot more interesting. Where this fails is twofold. Number one, they're using this mold. They are using a very unpopular mold, and they are the page on Hasbro Pulse for this is kind of hilarious because they're trying to upsell it as this masterpiece of craftsmanship. It's not. I'm okay with that toy. It's an Optimus Prime action figure that can transform. But the other part about this, and I do like this, something here, I'm going to show you that something that a lot of the shots are missing is that you can see it here. The chest on the prototype actually has an actual marker stamping on it. It wouldn't be TF 1984 on an actual prototype, but that's the kind of marking you would see is do not sell. So that's what it's replacing. The other fault here is in that exact prototype version that I just pointed out. It just looks like an unfinished Optimus Prime. It just looks boring compared to everything else. I mean, the gray is interesting because it's, the hard copy. The super painted one, of course, that's interesting. It's that middle ground, there's not too much difference between the finished Optimus Prime and the prototype version. Especially now that we are in this age where Hasbro is trying to minimize paint apps, so they're using the bare plastic to get as many of the colors across as possible. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird call. I would have gone with the super bright prototypes, the ones that show what parts came from what molds. So, there's bright blue, bright pink, bright green, those kind of colors. Also, you can tell they kind of fudge this just for the sake of looking a little bit more prototype, because the wheels would be black on a standard prototype that hasn't been painted yet. So yeah, it's a fascinating idea. I think they missed the mark. I really think they missed the mark here. And the downside is that if they continue doing these and they do a Bumblebee next, they're going to have to do it in the same style. So the Bumblebee is going to have the same flaws and poor choices that this one had. I don't know. It feels like it's a fascinating idea. It was just 2 steps off from greatness. And yes, part of it is the fact that the mold sucks. I have to assume this is just them recouping the cost of the mold as fast as possible. That feels like where an idea like this was born. But that's it. Let's move on to a toy you probably have pre-ordered. This is the upcoming Masterpiece G Soundwave. And that said, it's a repaint of the original Masterpiece Soundwave, but you know, it's cartoon accurate now. And it still looks pretty good. It's still one of the better Masterpiece molds. I still do not like that it has those forward-facing Energon hips. I really do not like that for an articulation. But it is what it is. The Soundwave itself still looks pretty good all the way around. Yeah, cartoon accurate means the blue is brighter, the yellow is brighter. It's not going as heavy on the details, so it's just letting them be just sculpted in work, and then everything else just kind of pops off of that. Like, I'm not arguing the fact that, like, yeah, it looks cool. It, like, the toy looks fine. I have to assume this is some kind of factory leak, because I really hope that a final production version does not come out with that many paint chips on the diecast. Oof, that's a lot of paint chipping. That's a lot of paint chipping. But really, like, my only hope here is that, like, after all these years, it still holds up, because they use this mold a lot. They use this mold a lot. But you see here, compared to the original version, yeah, definitely pops a lot more. For a lot of people, that is going to be what they think of as Soundwave. You know, the dark blue and silver is good, but they like the gray and the bright blue. So there's definitely a market for this. I'm not saying there isn't. And it's a popular mold, so any reuse of it is going to go over well. Here's another, possibly hand-painted now that I look at it, because that is a lot of paint chipping. Yeah, Laserbeak looks fine too. You see him compared to the original. Not a whole lot of change. Not a whole lot of change. This is mostly just a very similar feel to it. It's mostly in the beak. Now, they did reveal that there are going to be a couple of things that are going to come out with this, and they announced one change. The change is that the Gun Megatron accessory no longer comes with the Soundwave. Instead, you're getting a filled Energon cube. And that's a fun little extra. But also, we also want to discuss the fact that they did mention along with this that a blaster is on the way. We are getting MPG blaster. I think that's the more interesting news story here. We are going to be eventually getting Twin Cast and Sound Blaster. Of course we are. But they also mentioned that similar to how they did Soundwave last time, they're hoping to release the cassettes in packs. So I really hate to say it, but I think they're going to do the same thing they did last time and stick one unique cassette in each of the repaints, meaning you're probably going to have to buy both Blaster and Twin Cast to get all 4 of his cassettes, and then the 2 lingering ones will be a accessory set. And then Soundwave himself will probably run exactly like he did before. You know, where like Rumble and Ravage is one pack, Buzzsaw and, you know, Frenzy is another pack. And then you'll have to get Ratbat from buying the buying Sound Blaster. Jeez. My only hope here is that if they're going to go cartoon accurate with this, that they actually complete Soundwave set and do Slugfest and Overkill's Masterpiece. They did appear in the cartoon. It counts. It counts. Poor Blaster, he's only going to have 4 cassettes. Oh well. Moving from one Soundwave to another, we have in-hand shots of the upcoming Leader Class 86 Soundwave, again going cartoon accurate. And he is still looking pretty good. We have seen photos of this one before. It's not a bad thing to keep getting other shots of it, though. Everyone's going to have a different take and show different angles and aspects of the toy. And it still does look pretty solid. I do like that there's storage all over him for the individual weapons for his cassettes. That's actually a really nice touch. I'm not sure how I feel about Ravage's tail becoming an antenna, but I guess we work with what we have. The cassettes are still a little bit rough because they have to transform into, you know, the boys. Ravage still looking better, but yeah, that raised cannon section is still going to irk me. You know, it's never not going to feel awkward. But no, the toy itself looks like it's coming together pretty good. Articulation on it looks fantastic. Hey, look, Takara, look how good the hips look here. Look how good the hips work here. Yeah, he just looks pretty good. No complaints, no notes. Yeah, and even size-wise, he's going to be leader class like the Megatron, but remember, he's coming with a bunch of cassettes to counterpoint the size. But this is about where he should be. A little bit taller than the Voyager, a little bit shorter than the leader. That works. That works. That's about the proportion I would want. Yeah, really looking forward to this one. More so than the Masterpiece, oddly enough. Okay, we're going to go through a quick roundup. So the previous pictures were from Not Rab, who's taken a ton of Transformer photos early in the past. We're going to go through a whole bunch of his really quick here. We're not going to spend too much time on them. These are all the Studio Series ones coming out. We're not going to spend too much time because we've talked about these at length. But again, it's been a thin news week, so we got to talk about something, right? Windcharger's still looking good. I do like the solution to his box head of having the face on a hinge. That's an interesting approach. It does work. Yeah, the noticeable lip where his feet hit against the top of the car. That's still the one irk to me here about the design. That's a minor detail. I'm glad they kept the big rear wheels. I'm glad they kept the big rear wheels in accuracy to his original toy rather than making more like the real world vehicle. Arachnid, despite needing to be a Voyager, still looking pretty good as a deluxe. Still very high on my want list. Love that the individual eyes on the sides are painted. That's great. Like to see that. The legs articulated enough to actually reach to the front. That's really good. The drone mode is still a little bit weird in the front for me. Like the drone still looks a little bit weird in the front for me, but it is what it is. The rest of it looks fantastic. Love that the rotor can still spin despite the transformation. Barricade is okay. You know, like I was okay with the previous Barricade from the last night. That toy, I felt that did a good enough job on the toy. But this isn't bad. This isn't bad. If you like that second go around of Barricade, I'm not crazy about that take on him, but it is what it is. I know a lot of people aren't happy with the fact that he's lacking his knuckle dusters, because I know that was like a big deal for a lot of people. What I like about him is that he's a blue police car rather than a black. I think it separates him better from Prowl, and it's the kind of look that I think, you know, like a G1 Barricade should aim for more than, you know, looking like the OG movie, which is basically the same color scheme, just flipped. So side by side, yes, there are differences in the mold and the color, but you cannot tell me this still wouldn't have been better to just do as a head swap for one toy. This is Hasbro being super shameless. You remember when anytime Figuarts would release another Saiyan, and like, okay, it's Goku, it's Super Saiyan Goku, it's Super Saiyan 2 Goku or whatever, and Vegeta did the same thing, and you're literally just staring at it and go, this could have been an accessory swap, and you're selling it as a whole other toy. What is wrong with you? And that's what I get from this. I don't care that the forearms are different. It's such a minor detail. Again, we see with the War for Cybertron toys, that also could have been a swappable thing. You didn't need to do this. You know, he's a small leader class toy anyway. Like, he gets by on engineering complexity more than anything. So this is not impressive. In the vehicle modes, you can't even tell them apart. You know, it's a slight shade of blue that's different, maybe a little bit of gray but that's it. That's it. Like, they are nigh indistinguishable. There's no reason to make this figure again and then charge another $55. Oh, I'm sorry, $60. This is not a $60 toy. I got it in hand when someone sold one to the toy shop. I will agree, the transformation engineering on it is really cool. I actually really liked transforming it. This ain't a $60 toy. This is not a $60 toy. It just isn't. I know, it's disappointing. It's disappointing. It comes off greedy. Okay, and now we have Generations. If we take a look at Age of the Prime upcoming toys. In fact, I believe we had an update to this one. Yes, because they added Blastoff to these galleries. And Blastoff, again, looking fine. He, again, features that thing that some of our new combiners have, which is tiny hens because of where they go in the vehicle mode. This one still amuses me because it is using the animation accurate face with silver eyes and the headband that's, lavender, because the animators thought that's what his eyes were. I don't know why. Yeah, Combaticons coming together pretty good. Looks like they've got a lot more tech greeble. At least Brawl definitely has a lot more tech greeble than than the previous combiners we have gotten. They're looking good together though. Yeah, we've Quintus Prime also looking good. I'm glad that we actually get to see how the legs work now. They're all clear plastic, which worries me, but it works for the overall look of the toy. So we'll see how long it lasts. But no, it's a good looking figure. Yeah, it's very bizarre, and I like bizarre and different. I want bizarre and different in Transformers right now. Sure Shot, bright as ever, flaming color scheme here, and yeah, still looking pretty solid. Still looking pretty solid. Here's Amalgamus, and you could take 100 photos of Amalgamus and still not be done with everything that it does. He's ready for Fortnite right now, and we appreciate that. Yeah, it's just a fascinating toy, isn't it? Just like, it's just like, and just only showing like the official alt mode here. It's just fascinating how this toy works. Someone said we have Mugen, or we have Diaclone Reboot at home, and that does speak true here. Now, for something a little different, and something that is a brand new toy we can look at. I said it was going to be, there wasn't much to talk about. We've been going on a long time. This is going to run long, unfortunately. This is World Dragnus. This is our villain for Transformers Wild King. And he is looking incredible. I love the look of this thing. So, if you haven't followed, the whole idea here is that he comes with two individual members who are basically just minions. They are identical to each other, which means you can have symmetrical combinations. And when you can have power-ups like this to give him the big arms, you can do again to have big legs. You can enhance the dragon mode with him. The whole thing combines to Megatron, which is another really cool thing. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. And then he can combine with all the energy beasts as well. This is a loaded toy and big. He is big. So if you have been going on for the Wild King toy line, this is kind of a highlight piece. Like, this is like everything this toy line is wrapped up into this perfect little bundle. And there's your energy beast for him, his little partners. Notice they do not come with the actual energy piece on the chest because they're drones. They don't need it. Still exceptionally cool. He can also accept 4, which means he could also combine with 5 if he wanted to. And yeah, like the combination with the other energy masters is actually really cool too. It's such a cool figure. It's such a cool figure to wrap that entire toy line up. Mine is currently held hostage in Japan because the shipping rates are absolutely stupid. We know why. Do not get political in my comment section, please. Now, you want to see something really dumb? Remember those Hasbro Asia exclusive versions of a lot of the big toys we've been having lately? Well, here's the Devastator. He just comes with a suitcase. And other than that, it's literally just the normal 5 releases packed together. That's it. That's it. That's literally all they did, which is absurd. Like, this is such a waste. Yeah, the Devastator is exactly the same. And I'm going to go ahead and warn you, all of them are exactly the same. They just come with special boxes and a few extra things. That's it. That's it. But yeah, Devastator comes with a carrying case, a rolling case for Devastator. There's the special boxes for Optimus and Megatron, but inside it's just the standard toys, standard US boxes and releases. There is a foam pad so you can like put the toys back. Like you take the toys out of their packaging and then you put them back in their new fancier packaging, which I guess if you want to store them away and you don't want to have them out on display where they could get ruined or dirty or something like that, okay, fine. If you want to take extra good care of them, fine. But still, this is stupid. This is so stupid. And there's little extras. There's like acrylic standees and things like that. But like, yeah, it's ridiculous. There's a Superion set that's being released the same way. We don't have photos of that one yet, but this gives you an idea of just how silly this gets. Speaking of silly, we have a new Cyberverse episode, or Cyberworld episode. I hate that all the names are so similar. Cyberworld episode, and this one is fun, and we have like a little bit of interesting mystery story going on in the background of this episode, which is kind of fascinating, actually. There's actually some plot intrigue going on, much to my surprise. So yeah, kind of cool. Kind of cool. And speaking of animation, we do have rumor for Earthspark Season 4 still on the way. We talked about this. A German website actually has listed 2 episodes, Legacy of Hope and Hometown Heroes, for air December 5th on German TV and Nickelodeon. This one, we take it with a grain of salt, but the website this came from is reputable. They actually do have a record of being able to find this information out somewhere, somehow. And yeah, like, fingers crossed. We did have that one post that said, like, yeah, we have just wrapped on Earthspark as I'm leaving Nickelodeon, etc., etc. Like, we saw that from the producer. So there is credence to this, but it's weird that it's only a month away and we have no heads up from Nickelodeon themselves. Even if they were just wrapping these up to complete a contract and shoving it out the door, you'd at least think that we'd have some kind of information on its release by now. But we'll keep an eye out. I would like to see a proper conclusion to the series, so fingers crossed that we're going to get it here. Blockies is back with another one of their Action Edition figures. This is the Energy Explosion version of Megatron, aka in the midst of reformatting. Though, yeah, he doesn't get the grid lines here. He's just kind of glowing purple. It's a cool look, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously, I have my issues with the translucent plastic, but it is a cool looking figure. And yeah, you can see, yeah, like, you put a grid behind him, and yeah, you can see exactly what they're doing here. Coming with a Shockwave accessory is fun. I feel like that's literally just because the whole toy is molded in purple, so we might as well throw in Shockwave. But no, they do make cool sets. Blockies makes really cool stuff. So this, if it hits your fancy, that this is not a bad company to go with. And you can see where it looks like a lot of the internal structure parts are still like either solid or not of the translucent purple. So, you know, this might actually hold up, maybe. Let's move over to Yolo Park, who last week teased that they're doing a Age of Extinction Drift. Now we get to see it in person. I'm not huge on the design. I feel like Drift is supposed to be inspired by Japanese culture, not claiming Japanese culture. But here we go, and it does look as accurate as I could possibly imagine to how it looks, as a toy. It is one of those designs that, ILM came up with just for the sake of the movie, and did not anticipate this would ever actually be made into a toy. So you can see very little car detail on him throughout the design. He is focused solely on being accurate to his robot mode. And if you like Drift, if you like his design, this kind of non-transforming kit figure is really the only way you are going to get his like screen accurate appearance. So yeah, I'm not huge on it, but I will admit they did a fantastic job on it. The articulation looks amazing. The paint detail is really, really good. It's a lot of little lines and little details to get that armor look correct. So I will give them credit for that. Even if it's not my thing, I can still appreciate when a design is done well. So I'm going to give it credit for that. Yolo Park not done though. Designs I actually do care about. We have in-hand shots of these. We have been talking about these for a bit. This is the AMK Pro Series Optimus and Megatron, the ones that can convert between, the normal Orion Pax Optimus Prime and D16 Megatron. Well, now they're in hand, so we get to see full packaging design. We get to see full body figures. There we go. There we go. Look how many parts you get just so you can recreate every stage of Orion Pax. You can see from the box art, that is the intention. Now you have the standard cogless miner, you have the cogged Orion, and then you have Optimus Prime himself. And I love that there is a toy that focuses on giving you all three stages instead of like dicing it up and giving it to you a figure at a time. So this is a nice all-in-one if you want to represent these characters as they were in any stage they were in during the movie. This is a fantastic thing for them to pull. Looks really good too. Like, the detail is spot on. It's smooth. It is dirty in the way it needs to be dirty. All the paint looks really good. Sculpting looks really good. Yeah, Yolo Park does really good work. Funny enough, you know, Yolo Park and Blockies, we featured both heavily on this channel because both do some really, really good work and generally pretty affordable at that, which is kind of crazy. And yes, by the way, it all lights up too. It all lights up too. So yeah, we'll give you a little bit of the Megatron too, because I know we're running long. I don't want to go too far on this. And you can go check out the gallery on TFW 2005 yourself if you want to see everything. There's a ton of pictures. Did you do the Skybound? That you did the Skybound thing? Okay, fair game to you. Fair game to you. And we're going to finish off with like one of my favorite weirdo things that we ever get out of Transformers. These are the E-Hobby Super Deformed Collector Cards. This is wave 16 of the cards, and we have with us a Fangry, a Nightbeat complete with detective outfit, that's a fun art choice to have. There's the tech specs on the back. We have Prime Optimus Prime and Prime Megatron, or rather the ARMS Micron versions, because you can see they come with ARMS Microns in the artwork. That's clever. That's kind of fun. We have, what is it? It's Road Rocket. Can I remember without his Hooligan? I believe that, yeah, I'm going to go with Hooligan. G2 Cyberjet. Weird pull. Really weird pull. But that's what we appreciate about these cards, is they have weird pulls from time to time. They're not afraid to do super obscure things and leave like major names, you know, in the wake. You know, they can do whatever they want. I appreciate that. And then we get Grand Convoy and Galvatron from Superlink. Their card's looking extra cool. They went the extra mile on them. Fresh artwork on the back. Oh, and I like that they actually acknowledge that it's an upgrade of Armada Megatron on the back of Megatron's card, or Galvatron's. That's cool. Yeah, I don't have any of these things because they are silly and would be very expensive to get. But it's cool that they do. I still like how they look. They're still fun. And with that, that's going to be our news roundup for the week. Yeah, a lot longer than I thought. For a week that had no news, we got a lot of mileage out of this. I blame this thing. I blame this thing because I had a lot to say. Should have kept it for a separate video. But that is it for the week. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.